All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. Hold on one second. I've got to press buttons. Okay. It's still right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to say it's 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. And we have our Central Time folk coming in. Darlene back from the cabin up north. So good to see you, Darlene. I am assuming Rick might be within arm's reach, but if not, well, we're going to see him eventually. But right now, we're also going to see PPP Bang. Hey, good to see you, Mr. Man from Finland. Been a minute there. Last night, we watched Legally Blonde. You missed it, but that's okay. You're here today. Super stoked to see you. Let's see here. Who else we got in the house? We've got Pacola T re-upping her 31-month subscription, and it looks like she is in San Diego right now, 1,247 miles south of where I am at, up in Seattle. And of course, we have got Terry in Scotland coming in from where? Where's Terry in Scotland from? That's right, coming in from Scotland. At least that's what he likes to think. That's what he likes to tell us. And Shock here holding down the schedule, letting us know what that schedule is. All right, cool. So let's see, who did I miss? I missed Mama Sean coming in saying aloha to Darlene and Shock. And let's see here. Oh, there is Rick. There is Rick. Right on. Rick is in Dahale. Perfection. It looks like Andre's coming in saying hello to his favorite Finn. All right, and we got Gina coming in as well. Michael Anthony Smith coming in. Fan flippin-tastic, brah. Good to see you here, because I'll tell you what, I'm not expecting to see anybody here because it is a holiday weekend, and most people who are weird go and do things on a holiday weekend. Me, because I am weird in a different way, I stay home because I don't like traffic. And it sounds like Rick and Darlene, they probably, they did the best thing ever, which is leave before the holiday weekend and then come home in the middle of the holiday weekend. That is how you avoid the traffic. And exactly, y'all. Shock, thank you Andre, thank you so much for gifting that sub. And that's exactly right, Shock. I almost never go anywhere on holidays, because who in their right flippin' mind would? Michael Anthony Smith, you have no life. Well, that's okay, because having no life on holiday weekends is the best time ever, because you don't have to worry about traffic. You don't have to worry about obligations. You don't have to worry about the hassle of sitting in line for gas, sitting in traffic for traffic, and then hanging out with people that you maybe would have enjoyed being alone at your house for, more better for. But then again, that's maybe just me. And it looks like we have a hype train going on. Thank you guys so much for all the subs, etc., etc. And Andre, right now, no cars, so no traffic. Fair enough. But if you went to the airport, everything I'm seeing, dude, the airports are... Okay, actually, that's not true. The Seattle airport, because that's really all I'm seeing, the Seattle airport is going nuts this weekend. I can only assume that... that Seattle's not the only airport that's going nuts this weekend. And Pacola T, you go because that's when the grandkids are available. Well, you have a reason. You have good reason. Many people have good reasons. But you see, because I have no grandkids, I have no kids, I have no aunties, I have no nephews, I have no nieces, the other nephew. Yeah, there we go. I got none of that. So I get to stay home on the holiday weekends. And as much as it might sound like I'm complaining, I'm not. I'm very happy. And PPP Bang, what holiday is it? It is Memorial Day weekend this weekend in the United States of America on Monday. So right now, technically, it's not a holiday. But tomorrow, most folk, not all, fast food workers, retail workers, supermarket workers, all sorts of people, they don't get to take the holiday off. But banks are closed tomorrow. The post office won't be delivering tomorrow. A lot of random workers get the day off. I will be getting the day off tomorrow. And so paid, that is. And so it is Memorial Day. And Memorial Day, if I remember correctly, is one of 3 armed forces holidays. No, it is not the same. I was just actually You're so smart with your questions. I was just about to tell you that differentiation. Veterans Day is to honor all of the veterans, people who have served, people who have served, dead or alive. Armed Forces Day, which happened a few weeks ago, is to acknowledge all of the current service members. But Memorial Day, which is the one that's happening tomorrow, that's to remember all of the dead soldiers. Now, I know that there's a much nicer PR spin to dividing those up, but basically what I just said is the rough delineation. Live soldiers, dead soldiers, and former soldiers. Those 3 holidays. Veterans Day happens in November, I think. It might happen on October. Don't quote me on when Veterans Day happens. But Armed Forces Day is in May. I'm not going to tell you when because I can't remember. But Memorial Day is always the last Monday of May. And it basically marks the beginning of the summer holiday in the United States. I know that that's not the intention of the holiday, but that's basically what the holiday is used for by most people. And Andre, November 11th is Veterans Day. Okay, so I wasn't making that up. November is when that is. And yes, exactly. Shock coming in with absolute history. It used to be known as Armistice Day. And hey, Brother Bruce, hold up. I did not see Brother Bruce coming in. So good to see you, Brother Bruce. And I've got people coming in, correcting my my breakdown, which is veterans are still living. Memorial Day honorees are not. Memorial Day is for those that died in war. Right, not necessarily just dead veterans, but veterans that died in an actual war. There we go. And so, let's see here. And let's see here. Pacola T coming in. Service members is the more appropriate term. Sailors, airmen, coasties, marines get miffed when lumped in with soldiers. Fair enough. I actually had never really thought about the subtle differences between those words, but all right, there we have it. I'll give you that. And Darlene, you caught half a dozen nice sized fish this weekend. Bluegill, sunnies, and crappie. Had to let them go, catch and release. Oh, okay. Still though, that's fun. I love it when we can catch. I love catching fish. And let's see here. Bang. But the USA was involved in more wars, so it makes sense you have different days for these kinds of things. Yeah, there we go. That was to put it kindly and mildly, shall we say, Bang. Yes, we have been involved in more wars. Yes, that's right. We'll just clump it as more wars. Hey, Felicia, good to see you. I'm just trying to explain to some of our out-of-states folks just what is going on this weekend. But we are 11 minutes past the top of the hour, which means it's time to get the party started. So let's do it. Boop. Right, exactly, Quilty. For a whippersnapper of a country, we've had our share of conflicts, shall we say. And if they weren't necessarily conflicts that we were a part of, well, no, we had our fingers in a lot of conflicts. How about that? All right, you guys. So, let's see here. We've got a whole bunch of things to talk about, and then nothing really important to talk about. So, where are we going to start? I think we're going to start in a really gross topic, okay? But first, before we start this really gross topic, I'm going to say thank you guys so much for giving us that hype train. And we got some subs. We got 400 biddies. It is beautiful, beautiful. So there we have it, Rabbit. Thank you guys so much. All right, now that we're talking about war and Let's get gross. Exactly, Terry in Scotland. All right, you guys. So as it is getting warmer out and people are going out in the woods, etc., etc., there is a new thing you need to all be worried about. And I'm sure you guys have heard of deer ticks, right? You know, deer ticks are what is a very common cause for Lyme disease. But did you know that there's another thing? Yeah, there's another thing you need to worry about. It's called the Lone Star tick, y'all. Now, we've got a couple different types of ticks here, but right now we have got, let's just, all right. So we're going to pause for a minute. This is the Lone Star tick. And this is, it has an interesting side effect if you get bit. And you'll see it's called the Lone Star tick because it's got that lone star on the adult female back. The males don't look like this, and then the nymphs and the larvals obviously don't either. And it doesn't matter if it's the boy tick or the girl tick. Either one of them, if they bite you, can actually give you a meat allergy. Now, we've got a bunch of more different kind of ticks. Sorry, Shock. Yeah, look away, y'all. So we've got the black-legged tick, and we've got a dog tick, and then once again, we have the Lone Star tick. The black-legged tick, the dog tick, they don't give you a meat allergy, but the Lone Star tick can give you a meat allergy. And this is another picture of the Lone Star, and then boop, this is where Lone Star ticks have been verified that they exist in this area. However, Lone Star ticks, oh, Terry, I'll tell you in just a second. In fact, actually, I'm just about to tell you. However, Lone Star ticks aren't just in these areas. And the reason why I hypothesize that they are beyond these areas is because my best friend Dell went on a roller derby trip with his daughter, and they went to Nebraska. Nebraska is as far east as they went on that derby trip. And when his daughter got back from that derby trip, she was allergic to meat. It literally happened within like 48 hours. She got bit. She actually didn't know that she got bit. She didn't know anything. She had no idea. But, and in fact, she has suffered for a few years before I finally stumbled upon this. But basically, she was a hardcore meat eater. And when she got back, she was basically strictly vegetarian. She would get rashes. She would get hives. She would have severe stomach abdominal pains and other symptoms that go along with abdominal issues. You know what I'm talking about. And so she basically had to turn into a vegetarian. And so I was, one day I was reading on the interwebs or whatever, and I heard about this. And so I forwarded her the article, and she basically said that's exactly what happened to me. Like step by step, every little bit of the allergy as it was described was exactly what her experience was. Now, hopefully, they say that you can outgrow this allergy in 1 to 5 years. You can maybe start eating meat again. But basically, there's a protein in some of the ticks' saliva. Not all of them. Some of the tick saliva. It's called the alpha. It's called like the alpha gal protein. I don't remember what the protein is called. But if that protein gets in you, suddenly you're going to be allergic to meat, non-primate mammalian meat. Now I can also honestly say that Daisy had reactions to chickens as well. So I'm not sure if she was exactly bit with I don't know what happened, but what I do know is suddenly overnight she became allergic to meat. And the only explanation that we can come up with is this particular deer tick. Excuse me, Lone Star tick. It's not a deer tick. And so, Terry in Scotland, how did I come upon this? One of my friends had it happen to them. And it's just the strangest thing. So I don't know, if you get bit and then you like remove the tick right away, will that lessen the chance of getting that allergy? I have no idea. All I know is that it's called the Lone Star tick, and it has been verified as causing a meat allergy. And they also say that this range of the ticks is only going to be expanding due to warming. It's also found in Mexico and in some parts of Canada as well. So that is why I feel like this particular map really it's only what they've verified. It's not, I feel like it is way, way, way more prevalent than this map indicates. And Andre, yes, I'm sure that the Texans want to rename it the California tick. Totally. And totally, PPP bang, a meat allergy would kill 99% of the Texans. Precisely. And let's see here. Why don't they call them vegetarian zombie ticks? Because they've got that lone star. They've got that beautiful lone star that makes it so obvious that is that type, I guess, right? And Darlene, ticks. Yep, I had one crawling on me, but not in me. I do not like them, Sam I am. Great, another one to worry about. Plus the mosquitoes and the little black biting bugs. Got a few gnat bites. They got all kinds of bugs up in their woods. Yes, they do. And so yes, Darlene, does the allergy last forever? They think that it might wane in 5 years. They're finding with some people, but I don't really know if that's everybody. And thank you, Michael Anthony Smith, Alpha Gal. Yes, thank you for looking that up. That is exactly what that protein is called. And yeah, PPP bang, Lyme disease is totally hell too, from what I understand. Yeah, ticks are basically just full of gosh darn no good nothingness, right? And Bacola tea, oh my god, if there's such thing as a Hershey tick, then I'm doomed. Chocolate allergy would be the worst. And Andre, don't tell PETA about these ticks. That's hysterical. They might want to breed them for wide range use. And a shock coming in with utswmed.org, medblog, meat allergy, alpha-gal tick bite. So if you want to read more about this strange phenomenon, there is that link there that is live. And PPP bang, you have to remove dozens of ticks from your dogs every summer. So good that you do, and so gross, so flippin' gross, but very, very good that you are on the lookout for them and take care of it. And yes, Terry coming in with the hardcore allergy version, which is the allergy manifests as asphyxias and anaphylaxis, a life-threatening allergic reaction characterized by constriction of the airway and a drop in blood pressure. True, that is the worst case scenario. Not all the people who have the allergy have that severe of a reaction. Some of them just get hives, some of them just get rashes, some of them just get stomach aches. Luckily, Daisy was, I guess luckily is relative. She didn't have the constriction of the airway and blood pressure drop. She just had the abdominal issues and the hives. So luckily she wasn't ever at risk life-wise, as it were. And Mama Sean coming in, a gal that you worked with. Her husband had that happen to him too. Right, and I'll bet you he had no flippin' idea, because I think that this is a relatively new discovery, as it were. And when I say relatively new discovery, I mean within the last decade or so. And let's see here. Yes, Terry in Scotland. Alpha gal is also found in cat dander and in the drug Centuximab or whatever. That is very true. And Andre, the ticks shine bright deep in the heart of Texas. That's funny. And Gina, shoot, then I don't need to tell Gina about how Lyme disease is a bummer. She has survived it. Yeah, Gina, that's I from what I understand, that's a tough road to hoe. So awesome, dude. That you survived it, not that you had it. First off, let me just make that very clear. And so And yes, Andre, exactly. Possums eat ticks. Possums eat tons of ticks. Possums, from what I understand, although don't quote me on this, don't get rabies. They're immune to the Lyme disease and all the grossness that comes from eating the ticks. So if you actually see a possum, even though they're not really nice to look at, definitely let them be, because let them be. They're much more friendlier to your environment than you could even guess. And right, Andre, it was bad enough when you got COVID and a meat all tasted just rotten until you got better. Right, exactly. And right, PB Bang, ticks are so ugly. And even if spiders are ugly too, at least they have some positives, unlike ticks. Yeah, honestly, I can't really think of like something that is just like, well, actually, here's what I can think of. The good thing about ticks is they're food for possums, right? I mean, that's the only good thing I can think about a tick, is like, well, at least possums can eat them. But other than that, And okay, Terry in Scotland, a study published in 2019 discovered the alpha-gal in the saliva of the Lone Star tick. Right, so here we go. Relatively new discovery. Less than a decade, as it turns out. And so, yeah, so now you guys know of one more thing to be worried about, and one more gross thing to put in your brain. Sorry about that, you guys, but yeah. And let's see here. It's at least 10 years old. A friend of yours from NASA had this and left there in 2013, so probably 15 at least. Well, I'm guessing, Shock, that this phenomenon has been around for as long as that protein has been around and people getting bit by ticks with it. But I'm wondering if they just never understood what the flying fork was happening or whatever. Or maybe they just like recently, like Terry in Scotland did say 2019 was when the Lone Star was noted to have it. So either way, 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, it's a relatively new phenomenon that they clearly are just starting to understand. And now, on the bright side, it sounds like for people who have mild cases of it, and when I say mild, I mean like just the hives or the rash, not the breathing issues, they say that simple antihistamines actually can be effective to prevent the reactions from the red meat. My friend Daisy, who has this, I've never asked her if she's tried that. I cannot say that I know of anybody who's done it, but I was reading earlier that apparently some Benadryl might be helpful if you have a mild case. But the moment you're starting to worry about if you're going to be able to breathe or not, there's just no need to risk it. No need to risk that. And let's see here. And let's see here. Possums do look better. And Kenny's just like, I'm done with this conversation. Later, taters. Fair enough, Kenny. Fair enough. And Shock, you can feel a tick bite instantly, and even if you get them out before they have time to transfer the cooties, the bite is super aggravated for weeks. You're just a delicate southern flower. Well, I don't know, dude. I think that ticks are just nasty. And jumping spiders with all the bristles are super cute. Jumping spiders are cute, even though I hate jumping spiders in real life, but on the internet, they're very cute. And grinning like a possum eating sweet taters, or sweet ticks, as it were, huh? And that's so funny, that visual, Darlene. I can tell there's a tick crawling on me immediately. I run into the cabin, stripping as I run to get that bugger before he gets me. Seriously, I've done, not with a tick, but I've done that with a wasp. Screaming, in fact, into the house while in my driveway, screaming into my house, tearing my clothes off, no bra, biddies flying in the wind because I was getting that wasp out of my shirt. Yeah, exactly. And, okay, so UVA documented a tick-borne meat allergy in 2007. Okay, right. There you go. And Pee Bang doesn't even have possums. So they do have a lot of ticks though. And let's see, alpha gal from cancer treatments also causes the meat allergy. Oh wow, that's a bummer, because if I was going through cancer treatments, I'd want to be eating a lot of meat, because that's what I like to eat, and that's what makes me strong inside is my meats. And and Andre, suddenly I'm getting a craving for meat. And exactly, Piccola Tea, a steak medium rare with a side of Benadryl. Yeah, exactly. Gina, you've done that with bees, sand stripping. Well, I was already being stung, and so I just needed it to stop. And that's true, Mama Sean. Diatomaceous, or however you say that, earth does kill ticks, fleas, ants, and other things, but it also kills beneficial bugs. And so you really need to be careful where you're going to use that stuff, because you don't want to kill the bees, you don't want to kill the spiders. Well, some spiders you might want to kill, but you don't want to kill the bees, you don't want to kill the spiders, you don't want to kill the ladybugs. And the diatomaceous earth is pretty deadly on all of the on all bugs. So just remember to use it very judiciously. Very just don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. It's what I'm trying to say. Okay, don't overdo it. And and let's see here. BB Bang, it's so amazingly stupid to think that mosquitoes are still the deadliest animal in the world, even after all these medicines and healthcare that we have. Right, yeah, exactly. It really is. But, you know, but I guess what it is it's strength in numbers, right? Because, you know, when it comes to bugs, there's so many more bugs than people. There's just so many bugs all over the world. And I guess it's just strength in numbers. And, let's see here. Andre, don't mind spiders, don't like snakes. Maybe it has to do with running into rattlesnakes as a kid. Yeah, exactly. And then getting into a fight with a 13-foot long boa. Yeah, that'll do it. And let's see here. Yeah, you were being stung by bees and running inside and jumped in the shower, waited till I got to the bathroom. Yeah, I probably should have. But well, spiders do have exoskeletons, Mama Sean. That's the problem. Yeah, it is though. But I just read an article that complained about diatomaceous earth accidentally killing the good stuff. Maybe I was wrong, or maybe the article was wrong. But let's see here. Your husband has malaria? Oh, you mean you never get rid of malaria? So your husband has malaria and he's relapsed twice since you've known him. I didn't know that. Wow. I don't really know what I thought about malaria, but I didn't know that you just kept it in you. Stays forever. Wow. No, I had no idea. Oh, wow. Trippy. And, shock. Maybe when you get home from Thailand, you'll be chock full of parasites, but you hope not. Fair enough. And yeah, Piccola Tea, they say if we only consumed more Insteps, we could solve the world hunger problem. Absolutely. I just don't know if I want to eat some insects. Actually, that's not true. I love shrimp, and shrimp are ocean bugs. Shrimp are ocean bugs, and I love shrimpies. And I hear that there's ocean cockroaches, but I don't know if you can eat ocean cockroaches. And let's see here. Okay, so it's like shingles. It just keeps going. That's just awful. And malaria in the U.S. is moving north now, as in local acquisition, not having been in someplace exotic. Yes, because the world is warming, and so malaria is getting more northern, as are those Lone Star ticks. And so even though I feel like I don't have to worry about the mosquitoes or the ticks, I know that I'm living in denial because one day they will be here to come for me. Um, but right now, I'm okay. And shock, the alligators should be moving into your area any year now. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if that is actually a thing that's happening. Um, but I've never heard of the threat of the alligators moving north. But stands to reason that if everything else is moving north, why wouldn't the alligators? And hey, Crow, good to see you. You coming in with mayonnaise? All right, that works. We're talking about ticks and a meat allergy, and so maybe if you rub some mayonnaise on your tick, you won't get the meat allergy or something. Let's see here. So Terry in Scotland coming in with some interesting facts that I really don't want to imagine. Insects as food, or edible insects, are insect species used for human consumption. Over 2 billion people are estimated to eat insects on a daily basis. Wow. Globally, there are more than 2,000 insect species that are considered edible, though far fewer are discussed for industrialized mass production, regionally authorized for use in food. Many insects are highly nutritious. Nutritious. Yes, that's right. Nutritious. Some people say nutritious. Though nutritional content depends on the species and other factors such as diet and age. Of course. And let's see here. Insects offer a wide variety of flavors and are commonly consumed whole or pulverized for use in dishes and processed foods such as burger patties, pasta, or snacks. Like other food, there can be risks associated with consuming insects, such as an allergic reaction. As commercial interest in insects as food grows, countries are introducing new regulatory framework to oversee their production, processing, and consumption. Exactly, because here's the deal. How many bean sprouts are allowed in your bag of crickets? Because they still do have, like, how many parts of bugs can be in your can of beanie weenies? Well, they're going to have to reverse that. How many beanie weenies can be in your bag of crickets? They're going to have to change those particular rules and regulations. And let's see here. They taste good with mayo. Of course they do. Everything tastes better with mayo. We know that. And Crow, I'm glad you read that because I wasn't going to read that much. And Bacola tea, that's all I can think of is like deep fried crickets. I probably would be down with that. Chocolate covered crickets, I probably would be okay with that. I just, I mean, deep fried. Deep fried. What else is there? What else is there? And and Rick, you were almost tick free this whole weekend. Yep, exactly. And let's see here. Your husband has a tiny little jar of water bug extract, empty then dog, from his tour in Asia. Empty then dog? I don't know what you're talking about. And Felicia, are you flippin' kidding me? Felicia just said that they have alligators in Tennessee. You are a liar. Not that I'm calling you a liar. I'm just in denial and I reject your reality. I reject your reality and replace it with my own. You cannot be serious. I know you are serious. There's alligators in Tennessee. You guys. There's alligators in Tennessee. No. Wait. No. Country and Western singers from the Bayou sing songs about alligators. Country and Western singers from Nashville sing about their broken heart and their shiny cowboy boots. Ain't no alligators in Tennessee until now, I guess. All right. have I ever seen the movie Snowpiercer where they ate those bug candy bars? I don't know what you're talking about, and no. And by the way, no. And yeah, no. Some insects, like crickets and mealworms, are a source of complete protein and provide similar essential amino acid levels as soybeans, though less than casein. They have dietary fiber, essential minerals, and vitamins such as B12, riboflavin, and vitamin A, and include mostly unsaturated fats. They have alligators in North Carolina. No. No. Alligators, go back. You shall not pass. Obviously, I don't have any say in that. But, and PvP Bang, yeah, you enjoy your sharks and gators. I need to worry about wolves and bears, but even they are very, very rare. Well, let me tell you, PvP Bang, it depends on what part of the United States of America you are in, because wolves and bears, oh, heck yeah, baby doll, we got those too. We got those. We got the big old grizzly bears. We got the cute little black bears. We got ourselves some... Those are the only bears I can think of that we've got. We don't have panda bears except for in the zoo. And we don't have koala bears except for in the zoo. But black bears and grizzly bears, boy howdy, we got them there up here along with them there wolves. And you're right, Andre. I was just thinking the lower 48, but you're right. We absolutely have polar bears in Alaska as well. Actually, in fact, in parts of, I believe, Canada and possibly even in Alaska, they have found a crossbreed of a grizzly. Grizzlies and polar bears are crossbreeding now. And if that doesn't give you nightmares, I don't know what will. And that's awesome, PvP Bang. The wolves seem pretty chill here for some reason, because they're probably well fed. That's why. And they just walk through the cities, just strolling, minding their own business. Yeah, that's what the coyotes are like here in the States. We have coyotes, we have wolves. Wolves are definitely more rare and in the mountains. And the bears are also in the mountains, but definitely more common. And that's right, Terry. Chicago has the bears and the cubs. And and oh, really, Felicia? A teacher in high school brought chocolate-covered crickets to a potluck. I would try that. I would try that. And let's see here. Let's see here. And pardon me. Oh yeah, Andre, that's right. You probably have. Is it the gray wolves that you guys have in California, or do you have the Mexican red wolves that are in California, or do you have both? And then next question, which one of those wolf species or subspecies is crossbreeding with the coyotes? Right. Yeah, that makes sense, PvP Bang. The wolves are more common during winters. If you're out on the lake, they'd walk over the frozen lakes for shorter trips. Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. It's amazing what the ice highways that get opened up during the winter months. And let's see here. Along with all the bugs and snakes up north, we got bears, wolves, coyotes, lynx, too many wild creatures. If you ever get lost in those woods, you're a goner. Yep, fair enough. And yeah, and you know, like we've discussed in the last several weeks on this particular stream, the Pacific Northwest, you know, you don't have to go. You can still be living in a neighborhood up in the woods, a well-established neighborhood, and you might have a visitor of a cougar or a black bear. Not too many grizzly bears hitting the neighborhoods in Washington State. Other states like Idaho and Montana, definitely within the realm of possibility. But in Washington, I don't even know if we've got an established grizzly population in the state of Washington, and if we do, I believe it's got to be way up in the northern Cascades. Grizzlies are definitely not the common bear around here. Black bear is what you are going to, is definitely what you're going to run into. And of all of the bears to run into, black bears are the least aggressive. Don't take that to mean they're cute. Well, actually, you can take that to mean they're cute because they are cute. But just because they're less aggressive doesn't mean they're not aggressive. So don't try to like take a selfie. Don't try to give it an ear scritch. If you see a little one, get the flying fork out of the way because there's a big one nearby. Don't put it in your car for a selfie. What are all these things that I'm saying? Those are stupid things to do. Yeah, they're things people have done. So, did I make those things up? No, actually, they're things people have done that you really shouldn't do. So don't do them. Don't do that. Okay. And Andre's saying that yes. Oh, I'm sure you've got bears. Sure, you've got bears in Marin County and San Francisco. You have coyotes running and walking the streets. You also had mountain lion. Yeah, mountain lions. Actually, honestly, mountain lions are not afraid of the city. Mountain lions can be remarkably close to urban stuff and still hide in the shadows. The house that I grew up in Kitsap County was the backyard. Our backyard, for whatever reason, the cougar. I'm going to hope and assume it was only one cougar, but this one particular cougar did enjoy hanging out in our backyard. So if it like killed a raccoon, it would come to our backyard to like play with it before it ate it. And we know this because we just know this. We saw it happen. We heard it happen. We saw it happen. And then the next day we saw the remnant. And exactly, Shock, every sign you see is because someone did that. Exactly. Yeah. And let's see here. Black bears, when they attack, are way aggro. When they do attack, they got small bear syndrome or something. There you go. Exactly. You would take a big kitty and take a selfie with it in your car. That's how I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna lie. That is how I'm gonna die. I just don't think that anybody else should die that way. But that is, my last words are gonna be, psst, 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 let me pet you. And even if I die in a hospice someday, alone, I still want my last words to be, psst, 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 let me pet you. And and exactly, the National Park Service advises you to responsibly. And yes, if you can have deers, you have mountain lions. Exactly. And let's see here. But you're right, Darlene. Some people are just plain dumb around wildlife. You don't get to pet anything. I mean, yes, and I do know that. And Mama Sean, Terry's hubby's dad had a wolf dog hybrid, smart as heck. Yes, my best friend in high school, and my oldest friend so far, his name is Perry, and he had a wolf hybrid. Actually, to tell you the truth, we're not even sure it was a hybrid, but we really don't know. But it was definitely a wolf in of some proportion. And she was so smart and so well trained and so wonderful. She was weird. She was a weird dog who did not, oh, good, Shock, for sure. Put that on my tombstone. But, she was a strange dog. She would not, when they would go camping, she wouldn't go to the bathroom any place except for in water, because she was outside of her territory and she didn't want to leave a territorial marking. she was still so wild that she was like, this isn't my territory. I can't leave my marking here. And so she would go into a stream or go into the ocean to relieve herself. And yeah, they're just, Michael Anthony Smith, you heard you can't train a wolf. Well, there's something to be said about that, actually. And the dog that my friend had was only tamed because she chose to be tamed. That much was very clear. But she was also super smart and knew when she could get away with things and when she couldn't. She would used to, get up into the cupboards and get all the cat food and just crunch the cat food cans and suck all the cat food out of the cat food cans. She could unravel chain link. And by unravel, I don't mean she chewed through it. I mean, she unwove it. She would unweave it to make a hole. She did a lot of stuff. And like I said, she was only tame because she allowed herself to be tamed. So, yeah. But yeah, she definitely, yeah, I'm not going to argue with you, like, because truly, the only reason why she was tamed and trained was because she chose to allow herself to be tamed and trained. And it was a long journey. It was, one thing I can tell y'all, nobody has any business having a wolf hybrid dog, period. But the people who do end up with them, they better be on point when it comes to dog behavior, dog training, stable training, consistent training. This is not a toy. This is not a little thing. This is a huge animal that is literally can be from nose to snout 7 feet long, okay? Like, this is an animal that you need to be in control of and have a very good relationship with. And if you are incapable of having a pet with a dynamic like that, then you have no business with a wolf dog hybrid. And then again, I have that opinion about a lot of people with a lot of various breeds of dogs. There are lots of people who have no business with the dog that they have. And let's see here, who is it that just said, right, Shock, true, it's most times when the dog behavior issues, it's because of the humans, and the humans are absolutely the ones that are untrained. In fact, actually, anybody who any dog training instructor knows that you're not teaching the dog anything. You're teaching the dog's person stuff. You're teaching the dog's person how to interact with the dog. You're really not teaching the dog much. The dog generally doesn't have to be taught. The dog will catch on real quick. It's the human that needs to be taught and trained. And I know, Shock, you've had your dog for a year. Congratulations. That's so awesome. Happy dog-iversary. Okay, so, alrighty. So now that we're talking about random pets, and yes, I know, it's sort of Lono listening break time, but we're still gonna watch one more thing before we're gonna do a Lono listening break. What we're gonna watch now is we're gonna talk about pets. We're still talking about pets, but we're gonna talk about a different kind of pet. We're gonna talk about goldfish, and I have to wonder if Darlene caught a couple goldfish, because goldfish are everywhere these days. Goldfish are everywhere. And here's a story all about that, so let's do it. Beep.
For many people, it's their first pet, the humble goldfish. Swimming in a tank in your house, it's hard to imagine it's much of a threat. But when released into a Great Lake, a goldfish can imperil the fragile ecosystem of the largest freshwater system in the world. Christopher Booker has the story.
Yeah, you can pull the bottom board. Ecologist Andrea Court is beginning another day at the Coots Paradise Fishway in Hamilton, Ontario. Sitting between Lake Ontario and the Coots Paradise Marsh, this fishway acts as a border wall for fish. The goal? To keep invasive species out of this marsh, an important spawning and nursery area for native fish.
We have a series of baskets or cages that are underwater. So we have a crane, it lifts the basket, dumps them into a container, and then we sort the fish. At that point, I can decide which way the fish are going to go.
With the flick of a wrist, Court sends native fish, like this channel catfish, into the marsh to spawn. Invasives, like this common carp, aren't so lucky.
We turn away anywhere from about 2,000 in recent years to 9,000 carp.
And when you say turn away, you send them back?
Yeah, I send them back to the harbor. Yes, they get denied entry into the marsh.
When the fishway began operation in 1997, the main concern was invasive carp, which exploded in population in the marsh, displacing native fish and depleting aquatic plants. But in the past decade, as carp populations have declined, a gilded icon of childhood pets has been making a splash.
So here we go. Here's a goldfish. It seemed like we moved the carp out and the goldfish kind of moved in. So starting in 2013 was really when we started seeing more numbers, higher numbers of them.
But these goldfish don't look like the friendly little guys swimming in tanks at your local pet shop. Even their trademark color, bred into them in captivity, can disappear in the wild.
This is a goldfish, but it's not gold.
Well, it's not very advantageous to be bright orange in the wild. And so this is more of its natural color. It can obviously be much more camouflaged.
Kept in a bowl and fed a controlled diet, goldfish are small, unassuming pets. But when they're released into lakes and ponds like this one, they gain access to an endless supply of food, and they can grow into large, destructive pests.
They do grow quite large. I think the world record is 9 pounds, but
9 pounds.
9 pounds. But the biggest one that we've seen here is around 40 centimeters, so about half that size.
John Midwood is a research scientist with the Great Lakes Laboratory for Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences. He says these feral goldfish, which researchers estimate could number into the tens of millions in the Great Lakes alone, most likely originate from home fish tanks.
But what we think is happening is that people have goldfish at home, have them in their aquarium, and when they're done, they don't quite know what to do, and so they'll release them into the natural environment because they don't want to, kill that fish that they do love. The same features or adaptations of goldfish that let them really thrive at home in that bowl that sits on a shelf and doesn't get any new water for a while, isn't clean, those same adaptations let them thrive in these systems that are pretty degraded.
He says goldfish are not only competing with native fish, but literally muddying the water around them.
And what goldfish can do is they'll actually disturb the substrate or the sediment and mix it up, and it gets all murky and turbid, and that stops the vegetation from growing. They're one of the most challenging fishes to have in this system. There's other aquatic invasive species here, but we think goldfish are likely to have in the near future the biggest impact on that goal of trying to recover the aquatic vegetation.
Midwood says he would like to see these invasive goldfish euthanized, but there's simply no safe and affordable way to do so because of the contaminants they carry as bottom feeders in an industrial waterway.
Those fish pick up a lot of those contaminants, and so if you're trying to remove them, there have been challenges in the past in terms of where you dispose them, because they have heavy concentrations of things like PCBs and metals. Once an aquatic invasive species is in your system, you can't do much other than try to, keep its numbers down, and so the best path is really prevention.
But pet owners grappling with unwanted fish are often faced with a dilemma.
I had asked a few people that had ponds if they wanted them, but nobody wanted them, so I really didn't know what I was going to do with them.
Across the border in Erie, Pennsylvania, Neely Irwin was the reluctant owner of an unusually named goldfish that was quickly outgrowing its tank.
He was named that one because every time someone would come in the house, they would just go, that one. And I'm like, yeah, that's his name. He's the hugest.
Under the right conditions, goldfish can actually live up to 30 to 40 years. And this can leave their owners in deep water. That's why the Erie Zoo started a one-of-a-kind pet project last year.
This is our Last Chance Lagoon. This is the main pond.
The Last Chance Lagoon gives unwanted goldfish and koi a luxurious new home, a 23,000-gallon tank in the heart of the zoo. But according to Erie Zoo's Heather Gula, the primary function of the project is to educate the public.
We want to teach them about invasives because that is a big problem on the Great Lakes. We also want to teach them about proper pet care and expectations. That is something that a lot of zoos work on educating the public about, because you have a lot of people that want exotic pets or bring in some of those that they just don't know how to care for.
The Last Chance Lagoon intake forms tell the story of floundering fish owners.
This one's name is Pumpkin Bob. The owner did not realize how long they would live. They did get Pumpkin Bob at a fair, and he was living in a 1-gallon tank.
Along with about 50 other fish, Pumpkin Bob is now tank mates with Irwin's fish, that one, who's been living in the lagoon since last fall.
It's that one! Be free! They needed something better. I was very, very grateful that I could put him in here, and now I can visit him.
One less goldfish to wreak havoc in the wild. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Christopher Booker at the Last Chance Lagoon in Erie, Pennsylvania.
All right, there you have it. There you have it, my friends. And so, Last Chance Lagoon instead of the Last Chance Saloon. It's the Last Chance Lagoon. I think that is super cute. And honestly, I really feel like every zoo in every city or state, every zoo that exists, should probably have a Last Chance Lagoon for people to get rid of their goldfish. Because I have no doubt in my mind that Great Lakes, Salt Lake, although that will probably, those fish don't get to survive, but seriously, I have no doubt in my mind that any lake, any pond, any stream in the United States absolutely has people releasing their goldfish into it. Period, end of story. People are just awful and stupid, and that's just the way it is, right? So, and I find it so disturbing, right? Like, all of those little goldfish that are in the lake, they have to put them back to the lake because they can't even dispose of them because they're so polluted and toxic. But that's just putting the toxicity right back into the waterway. And then when they die and decay, like, how are they going to clean up that lake? Because it seems like having the goldfish clean up the lake and then getting the goldfish and disposing of the goldfish seems awesome. But then again, what are you going to do? Burn the goldfish and put all those stuff back in the air? And but how do you, it's just so gross. And let's see here, Terry talking about the tasty kind of goldfish. Because yeah, too bad you can't eat goldfish, but they're bottom feeders and you just don't want to, right? The goldfish crackers. They're a fish-shaped cracker with a small imprint of an eye and a smile. Pepperidge Farm is who makes them, and Pepperidge Farm is a division of the Campbell Soup Company. I had no idea, but that totally makes sense because goldfish crackers are really good with soup. So, duh. And right, exactly. It's the snack that smiles back. And let's see here. Oh, Finn, I guess, is the name of their mascot. I had no idea. That he had a name. I had no idea. I know, right, Shock? Maybe they should clean up the dang lake. That's kind of what I was thinking. And Rick, yeah, the Great Lakes are being attacked right now by those flying carp, right? But that's what the news article said was the carp have basically used to be in that marsh, and so they've eradicated it from that marsh, which is awesome. But I wonder though if so they say that they can't kill the goldfish because it's all toxic and gross. I wonder if they can kill the carp, like if they're a little less toxic. And have I heard of the story of that guy getting all the frog spawn and releasing them in his neighborhood? No. Oh no. It was like 1 million frogs and people moved out because they couldn't sleep anymore. Okay, honestly, dude, that's kind of awesome. I hope that the frogs survive though, because I do know that frogs are getting like funguses these days and just dying off. And so if those frogs survived, actually, I think that guy was kind of a local hero because frogs are disappearing from our waterways. So if he helped reintroduce frogs into a place that should have had frogs to begin with, I say, hey, awesome, do it. And did they have cane toads in Oahu when I was a kid? Not that I remember, no. That doesn't mean they weren't there. It just means I do not remember ever having to deal with a cane toad. And yeah, Piccola, time to throw the Genki balls into the lake or something. I don't really know. I don't really know. I mean, God, if it's toxic, if it's industrial toxic, like how do you, can the Genki ball even clean that up? I mean, it's one thing to just be gross, stinky sludge. It's another thing entirely to be full of PCBs and heavy metals, right? Or, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Alawai was filled with PCBs and heavy metals. I just don't know. And Darlene, good to know that the frogs are still hanging out in your neck of the woods. Absolutely good to know. Abso-flippin'-lutely good to know. All right, you guys. So we're running a little bit late from our usual time frame. I know. And guess what? We're going to be running even later because I have this one video that I want to show you guys. And then we'll have our Lono listing break. But Lono, as you may have noticed, lives on Molokai. And he has a very distinct way of saying Molokai. Lots of people have a very distinct way of saying Molokai. You might notice that I do not say it that way. And there's a reason why I do not say it that way. I have yet to be convinced that it is Moloka'i. I don't believe it is. No one has given me good enough reason yet to think it is. But I have had good reason to think that it's not. And here's the reason.
Molokai features 628 homes and 2 towers. Along with staying as a guest, there are opportunities to own the homes, which are in demand on the west side.
Aloha everyone, I'm Malika Dudley and we are on the island of Molokai. Or is it Moloka'i? We're going to answer that question asking someone that might know the answer. He's been living in Halawa Valley. His family has been there for 50 generations. And he'll give us his take.
Well, most of my life, I had always learned about Molokai. Molokai, not Moloka'i. Okay. Now, I learned that from the time I was young, from my grandparents and a lot of the elderly people that lives here, born and raised here in Halawa Valley. And these people here are from here. Yeah. And a lot of other people come from the other parts of the island, actually not even from Molokai. But they had moved here because of homesteads and things like that. And they have another way of pronouncing it because they have learned that from somebody else. But like I always say, well, who are these people that you learn from? They are living descendants from Molokai. I had always learned, because people tell me, oh, it's not Molokai, it's Moloka'i. And then some people argue with me, and not from here, yeah? I said, okay, I'm just sharing with you of something that I was brought up with in this valley by people that lives here. And these are the people that we call Kumu, the sauce, yeah? The real sauce, who born and raised on Molokai in Halawa Valley. And isn't that where you're going to go and follow them? Or you're going to get it from somebody else that are not from here. Our Kumu, our auntie, Harriet name, okay, is the son of Molokai. And she got this from Auntie Pukui, okay, that wrote the Hawaiian dictionary. Okay. Okay. It says, although the Pukui Hawaiian dictionary shows Molokai spelled as Moloka'i, okay, with separates of the I, with a glottal stop or okino between the final A and I. Old timers say that it should be Molokai. Okay? The meaning, they say, is gathering of ocean waters or the twisting ocean waters, referring to the water spouts which were often seen in the channel between Molokai, Maui, and Lanai. Okay? Another meaning is twisting current, referring to the currents in the channels surrounding Molokai. According to Auntie Harriet Ne, Mary Pukui, Kabena Pukui, contacted her 3 weeks before her death, and in that conversation indicated that Molokai was the proper spelling. Molokai. Okay? Old maps of the island show spelling variations such as Morotoi and Molotoi, both being 3-syllable words, which further supports the no Okina interpretation, also shared by Catherine Summers, who wrote the anthropologist book thing. This interpretation is consistent with statement made by other kupunas, in particular, Uncle Danny Kekahuna, Molokai man, okay, who addressed a family group and ranch employees on February 15, 1997 on this subject. See, it all says Molokai.
And who is the author of this letter?
This was from Auntie Pukui.
Oh, okay.
Wrote this letter to Auntie Harriet Neighbor. She's the one that with the dictionary, yeah, and to apologize, yeah, before she died. The Auntie Harriet was right, but she's not from Molokai, and because she never contacted the people from Molokai, the Kupunas, and asked. Yeah, a lot of people don't do that. They just write because that's the way they heard it. Yeah. But you should never do that, but ask the people that comes from there.
To see a copy of the letter Anakala is talking about,
check out my article on MauiNow.com for more. I'm Malika Dudley. Ahui ho.
So, how you choose to say it, I don't care. I say it the way I say it. He says it the way he says it. But there are plenty kupuna who do not say it that way. They say it Moloka'i. And that's possibly how they were taught. And ultimately speaking, what that kupuna Pilipo was saying is he says it the way he was taught. And other people were taught different. So who's really to say it's right? You know, which is right, which is not. It really all depends on what you've been taught. But what I can say is, don't go around correcting anybody. And if someone corrects you on how you, either way you say it, if someone corrects you, you can just shrug it off, because there is no agreement amongst the locals in regards to how to say it. Some of them are absolutely on one camp, some of them are absolutely on the other camp. And I'm not necessarily taking a side as to who is right. I just know I have always been taught Molokai, and that particular kupuna, well, you know, it's confirmation bias. He's telling me what I want to hear, and so there you go. I'm going to say it that way. Hey, Sionda, good to see you. You're coming in just in time for a Lono listening break, and let's see if I can find it and stuff. And I know that this song is a song that we've listened to quite often on, you know, where we're at. Chatter with Statter. There we go. We listen to that a lot. This particular song is called Pule. But then after this particular video, I'm going to show another video, and you'll notice that the kapuna in the next video does not say Molokai the way the other kapuna says. So here we are. Let's listen to some Lono.
Pule o Molokai. Powerful prayers. E aloha no Kaimikaua, o o ka hula piko hea ko amana anoha no ko ino a kako kalahuli o Moloka'i luna hei no ano e Molokai nui a hina e ola mau e aloha wau ia oe o me hana o Pule o e Molokai nui a hina e ola mau e aloha wau ia oe o me hana o Pule o e aloha no kaia kea o aloha kamehameha me maka'ainana anoha no ko'ino a kako kalahui o Moloka'i luna hei no ano e Molokai nui a hina e ola mau e aloha wau ia oe o me hana o Pule o e Molokai nui a hina e ola mau e aloha wau ia oe o me hana o Pule o e aloha no makua teia o ka laupapa kanaina e ia anoha no ko'ino a kako kalahuli o Moloka'i luna e no ano e Molokai nui a hina e ola mau e aloha wau ia oe o me hana o Pule o e Molokai nui a hina e ola mau e aloha wau ia oe o me hana o Pule o e Molokai nui a hina e ola mau e aloha wau ia oe o me hana o Pule o e Molokai nui a hina e ola mau e aloha wau ia oe o me hana o Pule o me hana o Pule o Pule o Molokai.
All right, there you have it. I too love that song. And so, now, one last video that I'd like to share with you guys. This video is from Kumu John, whose last name I cannot say, so I'm not going to. But what I can tell you is this. Kumu John was someone who has studied the ways of the old ways on Molokai. And LonoMusic studied Hula under this particular Kumu Hula. I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to. But this is a little speech that he did before he passed away that explains a lot of terms, that explains actually pre-Tahitian Hawaiian history. So history from the people who originally inhabited Hawaii before the god of Ku came, before the Tahitians came, before the southern Polynesians came, the quote unquote what is presumably the original inhabitants of the island. And he has got a lot of knowledge in regards to those old ways, and so he's going to be discussing a few of the things, and he explains some terms that you hear over and over and over again in LonoMusic. You'll recognize these words from the song that we just listened to. So let's learn a little bit about ancient Hawaiian history from Kumu John.
Mahalo, aloha. As Keone said, my tradition of pre-Western Hawaiian culture stems mainly from the island of Molokai. In the oral traditions of Molokai, it is said that the sky father Wakea beheld the earth mother Hina, and because of her beauty he slept with her, took her as a wife, and Hina became pregnant and soon gave birth to the island of Molokai. Thus the saying emerged, Moloka'i nui a Hina, which means great Molokai, child of the goddess Hina. And this is an ancient saying that is still remembered today in songs of Molokai. Anciently, Molokai was a very unique island. It was considered to be an extremely wealthy island. In ancient Hawaiian standards, the wealth of a land was measured in the amount of food that the land could produce. In ancient Molokai, along the west and southern shorelines, in the shallows there were hundreds of fish ponds. Out of those fish ponds, there were 58 main fish ponds. The smallest of these measured an area of 10 acres. The largest of these 58 ponds measured an area of 500 acres. Therefore, the amount of food that the ancient inhabitants of Molokai were able to produce exceeded the needs of its people. And because of that great wealth and bounty that Molokai had, many times Molokai, a few times, were under the threat of war from the chiefs of Maui or Oahu who wanted to try and take the wealth of Molokai. So this prompted the people in each of their ahupua'a to prepare their people by teaching them different techniques, and they developed styles of lua that were taught to the maka'ai nana that lived in particular in each ahupua'a. And out of this greatness of their ability to defend their ahupua'a in a moment's notice, an ancient saying emerged, and that saying of Molokai was Molokai koa upu upei, which means Molokai with its great and dreaded warriors. This was also a special island because if you look on the map of Hawaii, Molokai is really the center of the island chain. And being the center, this was an island that was chosen by kahuna of Molokai as well as other kahuna from the islands when they would come to that island to train and to learn different spiritual arts. And then these kahuna would go back to their respective islands to help their people. And as proof of that, another saying, ancient saying said in praise of Molokai was Molokai Pule, which means Molokai with its powerful prayers. And the one topic that I was asked to share with all of you today concerning ancient Molokai was the manner in which the ancient people governed themselves. And they governed themselves by what they called the aha, or aha councils. Now, this form of government existed throughout all the Hawaiian Islands, and it ended on all the islands islands during, or it began to end during the 8th and 9th century when people came from Lower Polynesia, bringing the ali'i system, bringing their new kapus, bringing the god Ku, and bringing human sacrifices to Hawaii and overpowering the people here, and the government and the manner in which the people governed themselves changed. But on the island of Molokai, because of its strong kahuna tradition, they maintained the aha councils all the way until the time of Kiha'a Pi'ilani, the son of Pi'ilani of Maui, when he was the one who was able to overthrow the people of Molokai. Now let me explain what the aha councils were. First, the word aha. As we all know, the word aha is referred to a type of cord, a type of woven cord. Now, this is the mana'o of what an aha was and why they chose that as an example. When you take the raw material from the olona and you weave it into a string, that string is called an aho. And then you take 8 aho and you weave it together in a tight weave. And those 8 single aho strings woven together forms the aha. Now the mana'o of the kupuna is those separate cords represents all of the different mana'o or people that are brought together with their understanding, with their spiritual abilities, with their knowledge from whatever profession they come into the, and how they serve the people in their ahupua'a, and they are woven together to form this aha cord. That aha cord represents maintaining the pono in the land and unifying the land. In ancient Molokai, each ahupua'a had its own aha council, and that aha was called aha kiole. And the aha kiole, each aha kiole were made of practitioners and kahuna that served and lived in that ahupua'a. If that ahupua'a had a fish pond in it or had fishermen, one representative was taken into that council. If they had kahuna in there that practiced healing, one came into that council. If they had a taro farmer, one came. If they had canoe builders, one came. Whatever profession existed in that ahupua'a, they came and sat in that aha kiole, and they took care of the affairs of the people that lived in their ahupua'a. And they were the ones responsible for maintaining the pono in the land. And our kupuna were very wise in doing that, for who would know better how to take care of the sea except the fishermen? Who would know better how to take care of the forest except the kahunas or the tree, the canoe builders that use the forest? Who would know how to maintain the water for taro planting but the taro farmers themselves? And so, as many ahupua'a as there were in the moku was as how many aha kiole there were. Then, in the moku, in ancient Molokai, there were 4 moku. Each of the moku picked one representative from the aha kiole to sit on a second aha that was called the aha moko. And this aha took care of the affairs when needed, when it concerned all of the people in their moku. They took care of the affairs there. And then, like on ancient Molokai, they had 4 moku. Then they would form a 3rd council, which is called the aha kea. And these were chosen either from 1 or 2 people from the mokus, from the moku councils, to come and to sit on this aha kea council. But in Western government, the power for the final decision is from the top down. But in the aha councils, it was upside down. The power to make the final decisions lay with the people in the aha kiole, in the ahupua'a. The aha moko or the aha kea had no power over the aha kiole. The people that lived, the people whose decision would be affected, were the ones that made the final decision.
All right. So thank you so much for being so patient and being forced to learn some things today. But I found these videos and I just thought they were quite interesting. And I wanted to juxtapose the one kupuna from Halava Valley and his pronunciation and teaching about the word Molokai versus this other kupuna who came from a different part of the island. And clearly he's familiar with history of the island that goes back 1,000 years, just like the first kupuna. And yet both of them are pronouncing the island name very differently, which only goes to support what I'm saying, which is say it how you're comfortable, say it how you were taught, and understand that other people have been taught other ways. And I think both are probably right. The only reason why I prefer to go with the Molokai instead of the Moloka'i is because no one has ever explained to me what Moloka'i translates to. Whereas Molokai, which is the twisting, turning currents, the spouting waters, that actually has a meaning, and it not only is a meaning that exists, it also is applicable to that body of water that surrounds the island. If it's one thing that I have known about Molokai since I was a small child, my dad used to race sailboats in the Hawaiian Islands, and that Molokai channel is rough stuff. You have no business being in that water unless you know how to handle yourself on the water. That water is rough water. That water is unforgiving. That water is unpredictable. That water will churn you up, which is consistent with the definition and the meaning behind the word Molokai. Now, if someone can actually tell me what Moloka'i translates to, I might go and switch my whole opinion on how to say that particular word. But my opinion doesn't flippin' matter. I am somebody who never has even set foot on Molokai. And so, by all means, do not say it the way I say it just because I said you should say it that way. In fact, that's not what I'm saying at all. Say it how you're going to want to say it, right? Right. There you go. And Darlene, the Islanders really knew how to live and take care of their land, their home. Too bad they aren't listened to or respected now. Yes, absolutely. There's no two ways about that. And I forgot what I was gonna say, so I'm not gonna say it. I forgot what I was gonna say. So I guess what I'm gonna do is thank you guys for hanging out. But hold on, wait. Let's see here. Terry coming in. Pearl Harbor was originally an extensive shallow embayment called Vaimomi, meaning waters of pearl, or Pua'uloa, meaning long hill, by the Hawaiians. Pua'uloa was regarded as the home of the shark goddess Ka'ahupahau. Apologies for mispronouncing that. And her brother or son, Kahiuka, in the Hawaiian legends. I did not know that. I did know that Pearl Harbor did at one point. There was a lot of pearls going on there in the shallow waters. I did know that. But I did not know all those other things. And let's see here. Pukolati, my girlfriend who's been sailing for 50 plus years there, said she nearly got seasick in Molokai Channel because it was so rough. Exactly. Andre, thank you so much for those biddies. But yeah, that's exactly why, that is why I choose to say Molokai the way I say it, because the meaning of the word is consistent with what I've always known about the waters surrounding the islands. So I am curious what Moloka'i might be translated to. I'm gonna allow it, PBB Bang, just because you put it there, even though you said, yeah, no, I'm still gonna show what you wrote. Because that was funny. And no, I'm not going to throw out nothing, but Andre can if he wants to. All right, you guys, it is 1 minute past the bottom of the hour and we're getting a little silly now. So I want to thank you guys for the subs, the gift subs, the resubs, always with the subs. Definitely want to thank you guys for the biddies. And mostly I want to thank you guys for showing up, hanging out, chitter-chattering along, and being forced to learn things that you didn't know you wanted to learn, and maybe you still didn't want to learn them, so just go la 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 la, I forget everything. But don't forget, 5 p.m. West Coast time on Wednesday, we're going to be here for more Chatter with Statter. And I believe next Saturday, we're going to watch a movie that Kenny from the Cove gave us. And I don't remember what it's called, so I'm not going to tell ya. I don't really remember where I put it either. But it's either going to be about firefighters or it's going to be about oil riggers. He gave us 2 movies. We're going to watch one. I don't know which one we're watching. I don't know what they're called, but we're going to watch them. Well, just one. And we'll eventually watch the other one, but not next Saturday. All right, you guys. And that's right, Mama Sean. Have an amazing week, people. And Andre also right, and I think somebody else said it too. Thank you, guys. Thank you, mods. Thank you, mods. Thank you, mods. Especially since we had some rando here who wanted to get banned, and Rick was able to, with the sword of no mercy, get that request taken care of right darn quick. So, gotta be quick on the draw, y'all. Rick's in the house. He's ready to ban you everybody's. All right, you guys. Give everybody scroochy scratches. Thank you so much, Michael Anthony Smith, for what a great compliment. I'm super, super stoked that you could hang out here today. And yes, psst, 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 let me pet you. That will be our famous last words for today. All right, y'all. See you later. Have a good one.